If your office is experiencing performance issues, like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA's Board of Governors has passed new anti-tanking rules, expands the lottery to 16 teams, relegation zone where the bottom 3 teams get penalized with lessened chances for the number 1 overall pick, and flattened odds, reports ESPN's Shams Charania.
With this vote, the Board of Governors have now given Adam Silver increased disciplinary authority to implement a wide range of action depending on tanking violations moving forward. Fines up to $10 million. He can take draft picks away. Also, have teams forfeit their picks. He can change picks. He can change odds.
For the first time this NBA postseason, the Spurs face elimination, down 3-2 to the Thunder, going into Game 6, West Finals. 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball owners today proposed a hard salary cap to players as part of the next CBA, something the unions vowed to never accept. If no new labor deals reached by December 1st, players likely will be locked out. Claude Lemieux, a 4-time Stanley Cup champ and regarded as one of the greatest playoff performers ever, has died at the age of 60. The cause of death not immediately available.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, Kirby Smart said the SEC should consider leaving the NCAA. I'll tell you if he's right. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You. So. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Saints on the field for OTAs. Greg Sankey taking off the gloves to defend the SEC. Cole Freeman next hour. Kendall Rogers will be here. Sean Fazende will be here. Jeff Watson will be here. We got a ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Good time to remind you that OTAs are voluntary. They're voluntary. But it's another step in the offseason for NFL teams, including the New Orleans Saints, which begin year 2 of the Kellen Moore era. And Kellen Moore did, in fact, meet with reporters after practice day 2 of OTAs to tell folks how it went.
This is practice 2 for us. Yesterday we had a good practice, more of a first and second down introductory day. That's kind of the focus here. OTAs in general, just from a philosophical approach, really scheme install, ton of fundamental work, and then getting into some of the physical conditioning. We just view OTAs as a ramp up right into training camp, and so we're trying to get these guys in really good football shape and just keep building as we go.
Football shape, a little bit of install, build toward camp. We also learned here on Thursday that New Orleans will have 3 sets of joint practices when they get into the preseason. So it is ramping up here into the offseason. This is just the push off from the dock point. Now, I mentioned that OTAs are voluntary. So it is very common that veteran players choose not to go. They go work out on their own. That's completely acceptable and fine. Organization generally is fine with it as long as there's communication and all that sort of stuff, despite the fact that they continue contract talks. Chris Olave is and has been at OTAs, as Kellen Moore discussed.
Certainly you recognize not everyone goes down, that path in that situation, because there's a business side to this that we all understand and respect. And, that's part of this thing for everyone that's a part of the NFL. And he has done an awesome job all offseason. He's prepared really, really well. I mean, he looks really, really good. And, that group spent a lot of time, certainly in the back end of last year with Tyler, and then this whole offseason, you can just see the continuity that these guys are creating.
I'm coming back to more receiver conversation because that is going to be a giant part of this offseason. You heard Kellen Moore say they're creating continuity with Tyler Shuck, of course. So last year at this time, Tyler Shuck wasn't the starter. Last year at this time, he was a rookie getting his sea legs and was going to be competing with Spencer Rattler for the job, who ultimately started the season. So it's very different now with Tyler Shuck as the undeniable leader, and so they got to ramp up. But the other sort of notable attendance mark here was Alvin Kamara, who was not there. Again, no big deal. Jeff Duncan told us a day ago they did not expect Alvin Kamara to be there. He hadn't been at OTAs the last 3 years, so no big deal there. But here was Kellen Moore on a timeline for Kamara.
Yeah, I don't think you put timelines on any of this stuff. We're just kind of working through the roster. And again, this time of year, there's, some of these guys, they traditionally haven't come this time of year, which is, as part of their kind of rhythm and routine as far as the offseason program. And so we'll just continue to work through that. So
Alvin Kamara, not there, no timeline. I think a giant part of ramping up to the offseason are the other running backs. I think it is certainly worth noting how HN looks. And remember old Kendre Miller coming back off of injury. If the Saints feel like they have better options at running backs, they're going to move on from Alvin Kamara. It's why they restructured the contract, to give themselves the option to move on from AK if they wanted to. Kellen Moore didn't have a lot to say, but did get his first look at HN.
Yeah, Travis done an awesome job. He's been here, each and every day, working his tail off. It's been awesome. Obviously, he's got an acclimation period coming into a new organization, and so that's a part of this. But he's done an excellent job.
You paid him $54 million. Also notable that he has a tail. This is a running back. You heard him say it. Or I'm sorry, he had a tail. Well, he's worked his tail off.
Okay,
the tail is gone
all
now.
right.
Had a tail, he worked it off. So notable that the tail was there, but it's off since he worked it off. So no more tail for HN.
Hard work right there.
Little weird that he showed up with a tail.
Kind of.
Not judging. Some people have tails. HN had a tail, but he worked it off. Don't know if Kendre Miller's ever had a tail, but here's the update.
Yeah, still working through the recovery process, and so won't necessarily see him out there in the football elements, but he's done an awesome job.
For a guy who sometimes gets wordy and waxes poetic, as Kellen Moore at times is wont to do, a 7-second answer on Kendre Miller, that didn't instill a lot of confidence, did it? Kendre Miller last year played in 7 games for the Saints, had 47 carries for $193, averaged 4 yards a carry. Actually, remember last year in the preseason, he kind of looked explosive. He looked good on some kickoff returns. It felt like a new beginning. Get him a bread maker. It's a new beginning. Even if you stole the bread maker and re-gifted it. It was a new beginning for Kendre Miller a year ago. And then he got hurt, which was the same old result. So you want something to keep an eye on, it's that. As far as Kamara, Kamara will be back if they don't feel like they have good options. But if HN, who of course they broke him off at $54 million, he's going to be your lead back. But if Kendre Miller's healthy and they like Devin Neal, who's coming off of injury, and you got Audric Estime still hanging around, then I think you could see them move on from Alvin Kamara. But this is why this offseason work, I think, is relevant for the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to the point about the receivers, okay? Because notable that Olave was there, and some of the photos, if you saw them from OTAs today that the Saints released from yesterday and today, were Jordan Tyson, the first-round pick, Chris Olave side by side, which they're hoping will create this incredible 1-2 tandem. And it certainly is going to be notable, having Jordan Tyson out there after, remember, at rookie camp. He was there the first day. They did not participate in the second day. This was Kellen Moore after practice talking about Tyson's reps there and if they're still going to be limited here in OTAs.
Yeah, we'll still control his volume, for a number of these guys. Again, the the end goal is we got to have an awesome training camp. We got to be set up for that standpoint. And so we're going to control reps for a lot of these guys. And so we'll utilize them in the ways we can and continue to build them. And that'll go not just for Jordan, but a lot of them.
So the one follow-up was on the workload that Jordan Tyson's had the first 2 days.
He was out there doing a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Will he incorporate with, 7-on-7s or is it full offense?
He won't do any 7-on-7 today. He'll do a couple of more of the walkthrough type speed.
Now, I just got done telling you, with respect to Kendre Miller, Ellen Moore.
Ellen Moore.
Didn't have a lot to say. Didn't have a lot to say there about Jordan Tyson either, a little close to the vest. But Jordan Tyson's spot on this roster is obviously locked up. One guy who is certainly worth watching is Jalen Polk. And he's fascinating because, remember, Jalen Polk was a first-round pick out of the University of Washington. And he effectively took a redshirt year last year because the Saints traded for him, knowing he was injured and having a really disappointing start to his career. But when he came out of Washington and was in New England, and they knew he was going to miss the season, but they traded for him, giving up late draft capital to bring Polk to New Orleans, let him sit last year with this offense, right? Kellen Moore's offense coming in, and then have this year to see if this is the opportunity he could emerge. And you're talking about a dude that's 6'1", 203 pounds, physical receiver, was a great player in that Washington team that went all the way to the national championship game. And after sitting for a year, now getting healthy, he's got his opportunity. And, yeah, he's participating here in OTAs.
Finally was on the field. It was fun. I feel like I've seen Jalen so much this whole past almost calendar year now. And so it was great to see him out there. I mean, obviously we thought really highly of him, being able to acquire him from New England. It's been a great exposure, and I'm excited for him.
Well, you're going to have a deep, talented receiver group with a variety of sizes and skill sets. Remember, a year ago, my criticism was you had a bunch of dudes that were the same dude. You had Brandon Cooks, who was your offseason acquisition, who looked a lot like Rashid Shaheed, who looked a lot like Chris Olave. These dudes, similar size, similar skill sets, until you brought in Devon Vele, who the first 7 games was not very productive, started to get productive near the end and then got injured, missed the rest of the season. But now you look at this receiver group that the Saints have, and you're talking about dudes with different sizes and skill sets, which is really, really encouraging. When you look at Chris Olave, who's 6 foot 187, Jalen Polk, 6'1", 203, Jordan Tyson, 6'2", 200 pounds, Devon Vele, 6'5", 210. You're looking at dudes with different size, different skill sets, abilities, power, strength, size to go over the middle, deep threats like Jordan Tyson. Yes, very much in favor of what they've done here. The other very notable part of the offense, as we mentioned, is you finally are going into this year 2, which is very different from a year ago, because a year ago you had a quarterback competition with Shuck and Rattler. Now there is no competition. They're both still there, but this is Shuck's team and there's no ambiguity. And Kellen Moore was asked about how different it is with Tyler Shuck not having to go into a competition to go into the offseason.
I think there's a leadership component when you're kind of leading the charge. There's a leadership thing that he's certainly showcased throughout this whole offseason, just with kind of rallying these guys and working as much as they have worked through this whole offseason. And then from an on-field standpoint, obviously he's got a great foundation with what we did last year. We're going to make plenty of adjustments and have little nuances, and he's a part of that process. And so I think that's the fun part of this, is every day we're going to kind of be able to build off of something we've done in the past. We're going to be able to put some new stuff in and make some adjustments and build it together.
Only day 2 of Saints OTAs. Okay, this is only day 2. And so you're going to have this off-season workout schedule, which is going to persist as you move throughout June. You had this 2-day OTAs. They'll be back on the field June 1st, then the 3rd, 4th, 8th, 10th, and 11th throughout OTAs. So as Kellen said there, it's an opportunity to get into football shape and to do some install and ramp up toward training camp, which is what we're all really looking forward to year 2 of the Kellen Moore era, but they're off and running here. A little bit of a newsy start to the show. We're going to break, come back, and talk about Greg Sankey taking off the gloves to defend the SEC a little bit. You'll hear from the commissioner. We are brought to you every day, our show open, by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU, and the official beer of the Saints. So when you're in the Dome, make sure, watching the Hoodats, year 200 Kellen Moore, you're toasting with the delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Maybe you're out to dinner at your favorite watering hole, ask for it by name, draft, bottle, can, they got it everywhere. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, y'all, let's take a quick break. Thursday show is presented by Decision Critical. A lot to get to. Former Tiger Cole Freeman is in studio with us in 45 minutes. Kendall Rogers here in hour 3 to preview the regional weekend ahead in college baseball. A lot of talk about the bipartisan act that was proposed a day ago for Congress to intervene in college athletics, the Save College Sports Act. Jeff Watson, an attorney with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, who's been on the show before talking about a lot of the NIL and different legalities around college athletics. He'll be here in hour 3 to sort of break down in layman's terms some of the nuance of that bill. We'll talk to Sean Fazende, who's been out there at Saints OTAs as well. So we got a ton to do. We are locked, loaded, chock full. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking about a pool, you got to call Duplessis Pools. I'll give you the website, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. You can see at Duplessis Pools, Derek Duplessis always says they would rather walk away from a job than put their name on something that is not up to their standard. At Duplessis Pools, they built a premium product. It's why they offer the 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. Another thing, go to a job site where Duplessis Builders is working, or maybe it's at your job site, you're never going to see a lot of subcontractors. Everyone that works, every one of their crews is a Duplessis Pools employee. They work for Duplessis Pools. So it's just the level of quality that they insist on in every single job that they do. It's Duplessis Pools. They'll build you a beautiful pool that lasts, and you'll have a great experience. So check them out. Start that pool design process today online at DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month. With 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Spring meetings are often just a giant propaganda machine, and I don't mean that specifically to point the finger at Greg Sankey and the SEC. It's true for every league. It's their opportunity to gather together presidents, football coaches, athletic directors, basketball coaches, women's basketball coaches, all of the power brokers within the conference to get together to move forward with a uniformed approach, to get in the same room, discuss what issues are at hand, and move forward publicly with a uniform approach. So there's sometimes saber rattling, but oftentimes it's just going to be the propaganda machine that's pumping. And every league has the thing that they'd like to lobby for. What becomes more and more clear with every passing day in college athletics is that you have the SEC, the Big Ten, and then a gigantic drop-off to everybody else, and figure it out however you want. Are there outliers of programs that are really good, like Miami just played for a national championship in football in the ACC, or Clemson with its recent success out of the ACC, or Arizona State having a really surprising year 2 years ago and making the college football playoff? Sure, there's outliers. Texas Tech in the Big 12. There's outliers and there's exceptions, but by and large, you're talking about Big Ten, SEC, who run everything, then everybody else is trying to consolidate, or I should say who is trying to organize collectively to pull their weight, hoping they can sort of punch back against the SEC and the Big Ten, but generally that's worthless. What's the more interesting fight, really, is watching the heavyweights, is watching the SEC and the Big Ten go toe-to-toe to see who might win that power struggle, and really the sport literally cannot move forward without their uniformed agreement. Like, we keep talking about this expanded college football playoff. I hope you all understand this. They cannot change the format unless the SEC and the Big Ten agree. If those two do not agree, the format cannot change, which is why we're at 12 for another year, which has got to be a detriment to the Southeastern Conference, because the SEC went to 9 league games thinking the playoff was going to expand. So the SEC now, which hasn't even competed for the national championship the last 3 years in football, has not had a team make the game for 3 straight years. Watch the Big Ten win it each of the last 3 years. Just made it even harder for their teams to get there, because you just went to a 9th league game. You guaranteed half of your league another loss, and you've got the Power 4 non-conference requirement, which the Big Ten doesn't have. Go look at the Big Ten's non-conference games. It's a joke. And we can have this conversation back and forth. But, for example, if you look at Indiana from a year ago when they won the national championship, and they were outstanding. They were the best team in college football. But Indiana's non-conference was Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. Let me say that again. Indiana's non-conference last year, in the year where they won the national championship, was Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. That's also the team that just canceled a future series with Virginia to play games against Kennesaw State and Austin Peay. Why? They are trying to clear the path to the college football playoff, give themselves the easiest path to get into the field, because the self-important dopes in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas discussing and debating things like defensive efficiency and game control, all they care about is the lowest common denominator, which, what's your record? No matter what it looks like, what's your record? So why play a tough schedule? The SEC keeps making it tougher on themselves. Nonetheless, Greg Sankey is still trying to win this public relations battle. He was asked why the Big Ten has surpassed the SEC, which, in watering holes in the Southeast, even though publicly nobody wants to admit it, you crack open an ice-cold Bud Light at a bar near you with your buddies, and you're talking about this, and you realize the Big Ten's won the last 3 national championships in football. The SEC hasn't even had a team in the championship game. The SEC's string of first-round draft picks, of having the most first-round draft picks in the NFL draft, just got broken by the Big Ten. Yeah, Big Ten's passed up the SEC. So Greg Sankey was like, hey, man, why did that happen?
If you look at the entirety of our league,
we are by far the most competitive, the strongest football league, by far. But you're going to lose games when it's close and competitive like that. So why have they surpassed us? It's an oddball. It's bounced a couple times the wrong way. Indiana was pretty dominant in the Rose Bowl last year, and I can assure you that everyone in this league is trying to figure out how to come up on the top end of that in the future. But I think from a big picture, the breadth, the depth of this league stands alone. In fact, we saw metrics out of the college football playoff presentation where there's no doubt we're the strongest league. Now, there's some segments of other leagues that are towards where we are, but not nearly the entirety of a conference like the Southeastern Conference. It's a pretty special place.
I don't doubt at all that it's a special place, and the things that Greg Sankey just said there are relevant. There are also things that are undeniable, like we just talked about. At the top of the league, the Big Ten is better. This past year, Indiana won the national championship. Ole Miss, like if you look at the standings postseason, right after the year, given Ole Miss won 13 games, Ole Miss would be at the top. Just go right down the list. Indiana or Ole Miss. I think we know how that would go. I mean, Indiana just dump truck boat raced Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State, Georgia. Pretty competitive. Those would be two. Pretty competitive game, I would think. But neutral field, maybe a slight lean Ohio State from last year. Oregon against Texas A&M. I mean, probably a lean to Oregon. I mean, Texas A&M lost a playoff game in its home field. Southern Cal against Alabama. Starts to get a little interesting there. It might lean Bama, depending on where it's played from a year ago. Michigan against Texas. Point spread value may lean Texas. So you're starting to get into a little bit more middle ground there. Iowa, Oklahoma would be next. Oklahoma made the playoff. Really good defense. Bad offense. Sounds just like Iowa. Washington against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was a 10-win team a year ago. I mean, could make a really compelling case for having been in the playoff. Illinois against Missouri. Minnesota against Tennessee. Minnesota against Tennessee. Nebraska, LSU. Northwestern against Kentucky. UCLA against Florida. Penn State against Auburn. A couple of fired coaches. Rutgers, Mississippi State. See, my point is, Wisconsin against South Carolina. Michigan State against Arkansas. And then they got Maryland and Purdue because they had 18 teams in the league. And the bottom are terrible there with Maryland and Purdue. But I guess my point is, when you look at the bottom of the SEC this last year, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky, Kentucky, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, they'll fire their coaches. That wasn't good. And it wasn't only bad because they were playing in a good league. Those are bad football teams, objectively bad football teams. So we talk about the depth of the conference. In the past, I could certainly make that argument, but I think what's happened to the SEC is what's happened to every league. The depth of the SEC was great because you recruited great and you could stockpile talent, which is no longer what you see in college football, because even if you recruit great talent out of high school, they leave. A player that might be we saw this in last year's recruiting class. You had a receiver from the state of Louisiana who was committed to LSU, who was going to be LSU's fourth guy in their class, instead signs with SMU because SMU pays him like a number one receiver to go there. Well, that weakens your depth and strengthens and raises the floor at another place. That's going to make everything compressed to the middle. You're creating parity in the sport. And you're not going to see as much dominance from any league. So we just rattled through the top of the conference. The conference is, and the top five was pretty evenly matched. But after that, you start to get into a lot of spot where it's like, I don't know, flip a coin. It's very evenly matched as you go throughout. Sankey wasn't done. Started talking more about why the SEC keeps losing by small margins.
And let's go back to the Peach Bowl. Was it January 1st, 2022? Field goal sales left. Georgia wins. We're great. The margins are so thin. Michigan beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl in overtime. Last year, you look at the Texas-Ohio State game, Texas scores, there's a screenplay, breaks the game open. You go to possessions in the red zone, really close, and there's a turnover. And I use those, and this year the ball's in the air, Ole Miss, Miami. I'm standing in the end zone, pretty good grab. That wasn't a Hail Mary, that was an attempt to score a touchdown on the last play. I mean, those are small margins between winning and losing.
Stumping for his league, and I don't blame him for stumping for his league, but it was also a situation where when the SEC was winning national championships 6 straight years, a lot of those national championship games weren't even competitive. So the question is, how do you get to a solution to where you get back on top? And I don't think it's necessarily that you do anything different. I think it's you have to do the thing that SEC basketball did to elevate itself, which is to say, make really good hires. You want to know how you elevate the depth in your league? Auburn needs to hit on Alex Golish. Florida needs to hit on John Summerall. Arkansas needs to hit on Ryan Silverfield. Kentucky needs to hit on Will Stein. Like, those good coaches come into the league to replace failed coaches. You will elevate the floor of your conference. If they don't, you're going to have a watered-down talent pool, 1 to 85, with bad coaches, and you're going to continue to see what you've seen. And yes, there will be small margins at the top with the really good programs, but you're just not going to win at the clip you once did. I just don't think that's realistic anymore with how rosters are being built. Unless if we get to a point where you can cap spending, which I don't think is actually going to happen. But if we get to a point where you can cap spending, and then it really becomes about the things that used to matter: geography, TV, facilities, passionate fans. All if it comes about that, and not so much as highest spender, then yes, then the SEC I think can regain its dominance. I just don't know that day ever comes back into college football. At least not soon. All right, it's out to further review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Agree, disagree, let me know. You got feelings? Shoot me an email, tweet me, text me. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Always love telling you about Relief Windows. My buddy Brandon Holly and the gang at Relief Windows, they do awesome work. Premium product. They're going to measure twice to install once. Think about what I just said. They actually send a measure tech out to your house first to measure twice. So they order custom windows made to the exact specification of your home. So they'll only have to do one install that's perfect, sealed perfectly. It reduces costly air leaks, makes your home more energy efficient, increases your home's resale value. So this is an investment that will end up paying for itself over time. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Always love having you hang out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical. We'll come back, go around the SEC. Also, the latest on Brendan Sorsby, an updated Texas Tech season odds, given the uncertainty around Sorsby. We're going to get to that. And Cole Freeman, former Tiger great, will be in studio with us in about 30 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
About that time of year where a lot of people sell their home because kids are out of school. This is the time to move. Maybe you got transferred for your job and you need to sell your home here, and you got to sell your home here before you can buy a home there, whatever the case may be. If you need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money, you need Darren James. I'm going to give you Darren's cell, which I've done every day for years, but it's not a gimmick. You're not going to a call center. This is the cell that Darren James has in his pocket right now if you want to give him a call or shoot him a text. 335-7666, 335-7666. In the 225, of course, agent225.com, 335-7666. If you're thinking about selling your home, maybe you got it listed with another realtor, got it listed for sale by owner, you're not getting traction, you need a plan to get your home sold faster for more money, call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666 or text him, 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek. Throw him on the heaping pile of hypocrites. I don't blame him for going to bat for his fans, student athletes, whatever. And I can understand also letting your feelings be known on certain things. There's a way to do it. If you missed it, a day ago, the SEC announced kickoff times for the first 3 weeks of the college football season. Now, this is done in conjunction with their TV partners. And Yurachek put out a letter because Arkansas is going to play Utah at Utah in week 2, and then they come home for their SEC opener against Georgia 7 days later. Yurachek wrote in this letter, I am extremely concerned and displeased about the recently released kickoff times for our football program in consecutive weeks this September and the impact it will have on the well-being of our student athletes. ESPN has set our game at Utah for 9:15 p.m. Central Time on September 12th. We anticipate returning to campus approximately 6 a.m. Sunday, September 13th, followed by an 11 a.m. home kickoff against Georgia just 6 days later on September 19th. He talks about how it will cost our student athletes a full day of rest and recovery and blah-blah-blah-blah-blah-blue. Okay. He's requested the SEC office pursue an alternative solution for one or both kickoff times. Okay. Hey, Hunter, this is what happens when you sign over your grant rights to the to the conference. They go negotiate a TV deal worth $1 billion annually, and you play football whenever TV tells you to play football. If you don't like it, leave the conference. You want to know how you pay your salary? You want to know how you pay your coaches? You want to know how you afford shiny buildings? You want to know how you pay your recruiting budget? TV, from football primarily. You don't like it? Leave the conference. Does it suck? Yeah. Is it unheard of that programs play a night game one week and then a day game the next week? No, it happens. Suck it up. There is no better solution. If you want an alternative, lobby for it quietly behind closed doors before you go public. I'll give you an example. LSU, their thing has always been night games. LSU made it known to the league office when the schedules changed to protect rivalries, when you went to the one permanent opponent in the conference and you rotated the rest of the schedule of the opposite your division, when you expanded the league, the LSU said, fine, you're going to this cockamamie schedule to protect Georgia, Auburn, and Bama, Tennessee, these games that only those fan bases really deeply care about. That's their tradition. Cool. Our tradition is night games. We want night games in Tiger Stadium. So they did that, but they did it quietly at league meetings. And they lobbied the commissioner for it and the networks. And they worked hard together to get LSU as many night games as possible. It's a way to go about doing it. Not putting out a statement like that, which is stupid. This is wanting to have your cake and eat it too. You want to be part of the SEC? You want a $1 billion TV deal from ESPN? Play when they tell you to. Dork. Man, people are stupid. I shouldn't say stupid. That's a rude word, and I shouldn't say that. People, God, they love to complain with a full belly. How about this, Hunter? How about this? Hire a good coach, win more games, maybe you'll play more in prime time. Speaking of full bellies, go to Supper Club, you get a full belly. How about that? Yeah! Hot dog. Ain't got no hot dogs at Supper Club, man. They do have the best steak you'll ever eat in your life. Tell you, man, I was at, when I was out in Arizona, anytime I travel, so I'm a steak nerd, okay? I love to go to find the best steakhouses, eat the best steak. That's one thing I love to do whenever I travel. So we're in Scottsdale, went to a resort called the Phoenician, and there's a steakhouse called J&G. It's a Michelin-rated place and all this. It's all this. It was great, man. Had a 19-ounce bone-in ribeye. It's fantastic. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you said I could go back to Scottsdale right now and have that 19-ounce bone-in ribeye, or go to Perkins Road at Seagan to Supper Club and have the Australian Wagyu or the Japanese Omi beef or the bison I had at Supper Club 2 weeks ago, ain't even a choice. I'm telling y'all, when Brandon and Mackenzie opened Supper Club, their whole objective was, Brandon obviously with work has done an amazing job and be able to travel the world and go to fine restaurants. And he's like, I want to take this world-class experience that has usually been reserved for New York or LA or San Francisco or London or Paris or Dubai or whatever, and bring it to Perkins Road near Bluebonnet. You want to go have the best dining experience you'll have anywhere in Louisiana, maybe anywhere in your life? Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. Get your reservations today, SupperClubBTR.com. All right, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
John Summerall's assistants are going to make a combined $11.2 million. I wonder how they pay for that. Oh, TV money. Shut up, Hunter Yurachek. Buster Faulkner, the OC, signed a 3-year, $6.6 million deal when he left Georgia Tech to join Summerall there in Gainesville. Brad White, the defensive coordinator, signed a 3-year, $5.85 million. 4 other assistants are going to make at least $1 million.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Kirby landed an in-state defensive lineman for the class of 2027, Waylon Wooten. He's number 976 overall, number 104 in Georgia. He's the 8th commitment for 2027.
The Missouri Tigers.
Speaking of defensive linemen, Elijah Drinkwitz landed defensive lineman Dami Sowunmi That's him. 6'4", 275. Chose Missouri over K-State, Cincinnati, Iowa, and others. 3-star, the 75th best defensive lineman in the country.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Basketball hired new assistant director of player development, Chris Parker. He joins the staff to replace Riley Collins, who left to join Justin Gainey's staff at NC State, who, of course, replaced Will Wade. Parker is a native of Plano, Texas, was a grad assistant at TCU last season.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Vandy guard Tyler Tanner has spurned the NBA draft. The sophomore tested the draft waters, but will return to Nash Vegas. He was all SEC this past year, leading the doors to the second round of the NCAA tournament, averaged 19 points per game, 5 assists, and 2 steals. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Thursday shows presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. Check them out online at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com, but don't let the BR fool you. Decision Critical has offices all over the state of Louisiana, nurses in every corner of the state, and they now have a Dallas office as well. So, yep, started in Baton Rouge, really around COVID, when they were administering COVID tests is how they really started to scale, but they do everything. End-of-life care. If you need to sleep when you bring home a new baby, they can come watch your baby overnight. Maybe you've had surgery, you need in-home nursing care. Maybe you need someone to get you home from surgery. Decisions Critical nurses can do that. IV hydration therapy. They have B12 shots in clinic there on Highland Road. Pretty much anything that you would need nursing care for, Decision Critical offers it in a concierge service. They're incredible. Check them out. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com to schedule your discovery call. All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out a final break of hour number 1. Cole Freeman in studio in 15 minutes from right now. Excited to have the former Tiger in studio with us. Kendall Rogers in hour number 3, preview some regional baseball. We'll come back. Saints have announced joint practices, and we now know the preseason schedule for the Saints. We'll get to that and updated odds for Brendan Sorsby's TTU Red Raiders. That's next, AFR.
After further review.
Man, big shout out to our buddies over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Because of Gordon and the G-team relationship that we have, a day ago we had Derek Curiel and Gavin Guidry and Chris Stanfield and Cooper Moore in studio with us. That was all courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, as they are members of the G-team. So when we talk about NIL deals, that's part of that. The set of interviews a day ago was part of their deliverables for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. So really great synergies. We were so fortunate to be able to have those guys in studio for those great conversations. It's all because of Gordon, his support of Tigers and athletics, and, of course, the Tiger baseball program and all sports, but part of the G-team. That's why they were here yesterday. Hey, remember, we also announced Gordon has the gas card giveaway. They're giving away 10 $250 gas cards. You been to the pump lately? You. Anyway, there's a great opportunity. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or any of the social medias at getgordon if you want to learn how you can enter to win a $250 gas cord. Get Gordon, get it done.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Parrish, we bring the same commitment to your home that champions bring to the game.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
Saints preseason schedule has been finalized. 3 games will be against Jacksonville, the Rams, and the Cowboys. The first game against Jacksonville will be at 3 o'clock on August the 15th in the Dome. It'll be a game on Fox. The other 2 will be on the road. So they'll go home, road. So at Rams, at Cowboys. The Cowboys game will actually be in primetime on Fox on Friday, August the 28th. So there's your preseason schedule. Home against Jacksonville, at the Rams, at the Cowboys. And also notable is that the Saints reportedly are expected to have joint practices with all 3 of their opponents. It's something we've seen the Saints do when they've gone out west to take on the Rams here in the preseason. And so, of course, Kellen Moore was a coach in LA against the Chargers, or for the Chargers, I should say, but also was an assistant with Dallas. So you have a relationship there. So it looks like you're going to see the Saints load up their schedule with joint practices. I like the idea of joint practices in theory because you can actually see a good-on-good competition instead of beating up on yourself. The one thing that sometimes can be complicated, of course, is whenever you have joint practices, you always have fights. It's just what happens. I mean, teams lean on each other at practice throughout the course of a week, and tensions end up rising and flaring up. You just don't want to see anybody get hurt. If there was a precedent, though, of guys getting hurt in these joint practices, you might see that scale back a little bit. But as far as the quality of the work you get done and improving, I really like it, especially as the NFL has restricted and limited the amount of contact and tackling and full contact periods and practices that teams can have as they try to protect their players throughout a 17-game season, 20 if you include the 3 preseason games and then postseason. They scaled down a lot of the physical contact and practice, especially in the preseason. So as a result of that, this isn't a unique thought. A lot of people say this, and it sort of is proven that a lot of the quality of play in the first month of the season is not very good, as guys are only then starting to go through full contact in game situations. So then they start to get better and improve as the season goes along. You can maybe ramp up some of that development if you are having joint practices. So I like the idea of joint practices. Again, Saints against Jags, Rams, Cowboys. That's your preseason schedule. The first game against Jacksonville at home. Then they'll be at the Rams, at the Cowboys. All right, it's after further review. Throughout the summer, make sure you're drinking plenty of Evermore. I was out in the desert this past weekend. Out in Arizona, it was wild to be in 100-degree temps in the desert, playing a round of golf, being out there 4.5, 5 hours, and not sweating at all. But you're losing water. You're losing hydration. So it's important to remind yourself to drink water. Evermore is natural artesian water, and it's a Louisiana product. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, whatever crappy bottled water you're drinking, stop drinking it and pick up Evermore. You'll taste the difference. You'll support a great Louisiana company. You'll stay hydrated. It's a healthier alternative. Nothing added, nothing taken away. it's Evermore. Buy it at great local retailers. Matter of fact, the bottle that's right here on my set, right here, walked into a gas station near Highland near the interstate today. Walked into a gas station, boom, at a display, picked up a 64-ounce bottle of Evermore. That's the one sitting right here. That's the place right by the parish office. Was at a meeting at parish, walked in there, boom, got a bottle of Evermore. So pick up a bottle of Evermore. Great local retailers. You want to find the retailer nearest you, evermore.com, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. Real quick, before we hit the top of the hour break, the Brendan Sorsby situation is continuing. The NCAA, of course, has rejected his appeal. This is very likely headed for court, as we all understand. Odds makers are adjusting accordingly. Texas Tech's odds opened to win the college football playoff at 14-1. They actually went as low as 11-1. Now they've ballooned to 25-1. So the odds makers accounting for the likelihood, probability of Brendan Sorsby being ineligible. Their win total went from 11 to 10.5, which is actually kind of interesting there because it didn't have a dramatic effect, just half game. The Big 12 odds went from a minus $1.60 to plus 105. So they're still the favorite. Texas Tech is still the favorite in the Big 12 over BYU and Utah, which says probably more about the Big 12 than anything. And Sorsby's Heisman odds open 18-1, went as low as 14-1. His replacement, Will Hammond, right now is at 200-1. All right, hour two coming up next.
After further review.
Man, I got a text earlier today from my buddy Mr. Kerry Manuel over at South Point Volkswagen. I want to read it to you because it certainly speaks volumes about what's going on over there right now. And when you're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer and you have great deals to offer and great vehicles, this happens. He said, Matt, South Point Volkswagen sales have been on fire. We now have over 40 certified VW pre-owned vehicles in stock. Jettas, Taos, Tiguans, Atlases, Cross Sports, most with an extended Volkswagen certified factory warranty. The best selection of pre-owned Volkswagens in years. Come see us for a great deal and a great experience. So when you're talking, I say it all the time, as they move more inventory, they get more trade-ins in stock. So again, they move more new Volkswagens. People come trade in their old vehicle. Awesome. It's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. New, certified, pre-owned, in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA's Board of Governors has passed new anti-tanking rules. It expands the lottery to 16 teams, has a relegation zone where the bottom 3 teams get penalized with lessened chances for the number 1 pick, and flattened odds, reports ESPN's Shams Charania. Only one option for the Spurs tonight in Game 6 of the NBA's West Finals: win or their season's done. San Antonio down 3-2 to Oklahoma City. So what does star Victor Wembanyama need to do to force a Game 7? ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Agwumike.
This man, 22 years old, is 7'5". For him to be able to extend the series, he will need to do exactly that. Take on all matchups, whether it's the small guards that guard him or the big players like Isaiah Hartenstein. He will need to dominate the paint. So in transition, I expect to see him getting downhill and not picking and popping.
Game 6, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball owners made their long-expected salary cap proposal to the Players Association, a system the union has vowed to never accept. Claude Lemieux, a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, regarded as one of the greatest playoff performers ever, has died at the age of 60. The cause of death not immediately available.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. Kirby Smart said the SEC should consider leaving the NCAA. I'll tell you if he's right. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Kendall Rogers, 1 hour from right now. Preview regional baseball starts this weekend. Of course, unfortunately, the Tigers are not part of it. Still, they'll play on Omaha. We'll talk about it with Kendall Rogers in 1 hour from right now. Guy knows what it's like to play to and through Omaha. Former Tigers second baseman Cole Freeman, good enough to join us in studio. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. I'm upset I'm not watching the Tigers right now, but doing great.
We're all right there, man. We're talking a little off air, but it was a brutal watch this year.
Yeah.
For you as a guy who played, what was it like watching the team?
I mean, that's well put. I mean, you expect them to struggle, especially coming out the gate, being 1-2 in different polls. Everybody's gunning for them, especially after the national champ. At some point, there's going to be that little lull, but it kind of, I think we started, 10-0, 11-0, or something like that. So we started off how we expected. Then we kind of dropped a couple games right before SEC play and then got into SEC play, and that's really kind of when it, hit the fan. And we were just waiting for that, okay, here it is. Here they start going, especially, again, at the end of the season. At some point, they're going to come alive, always. Even on the tougher teams, at some point, they end up picking it up. And just seemed to never really get there. I mean, the most exciting series was Tennessee.
Yeah.
And, we were going to hopefully parlay that into the rest of the year and at least be able to get into the tournament. But, yeah, it wasn't in the cards.
I mean, you guys had a similar situation in not exactly, but in 17, obviously had a little bit of a slow start in conference play, and you kind of had that, all right, it's time to kick.
Yeah.
And you went all the way to the championship series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it really that easy saying like there's a light switch moment?
I think it's the team's got to figure out what's missing. I know for us, believe it or not, we were pressing so hard that we actually had a team meeting and we were like, hey, we need to go party more with our with our teammates. And it was because we were so focused on baseball that we were just getting wrapped up in everything. And it was like, hey, we need to just go have some fun together, relax, talk shop about what's going on and all that. And really right when we did that, our season opened up. I think the pressure, we kind of took it off of ourselves. We started trusting the process a little bit more, trusting that, okay, if we end up dropping a game here, it's not that big of a deal. It is just baseball. We don't have to win every single game. But that camaraderie is everything, especially when you're trying to make a run with getting to the World Series and stuff like that. So I felt like just from afar, not that I know, I felt like that was missing a little bit from the team. And that could be from a bunch of transfers coming in and people that don't really know each other and stuff like that, and then obviously trying to live up to their hype. But, yeah, sometimes it's just get together and not think about baseball. That helps baseball.
Throw back a few cold ones and do what college kids do at times. Take the pressure off a little bit. We got a couple of segments here with Cole. We'll get back into baseball in a second. But, whenever we have a chance to visit with Cole, typically we're talking about Heart Has No Limit, which is the foundation and organization that I guess really was birthed while you were playing at LSU, actually before LSU, and has now become sort of your mission. Let's go back and remind, because you have an exciting update, but let's go back and remind people how HHNL started.
Yeah, and how HHNL started was just a tattoo I got on the side of my ribs. Once I had told myself that not only did I achieve by getting to LSU, but that I was a starting role player. And then really right after that, it was me and my sister talking about a couple things that we could get on my ribs and landed on Heart Has No Limit, and that's kind of where I thought it stopped. I turned down the draft, come back for my senior year. Metairie asked me to wear 8, and then Jeff Marks, who were walking with the Tigers, wanted to do a story on me. So we start going through 8 different parts. That's what it was going to be about my life, and we landed on Heart Has No Limit. And next thing you know, he's like, dude, this whole story is going to be Heart Has No Limit. So we dove into just all the adversity I'd overcame and all that stuff. And so I just kind of opened up and, it came out. And again, I didn't think anything was going to come from it. And next thing you know, I'm getting messages saying, you've proved these people wrong. I'm going to go prove these people wrong too and achieve what I want to achieve. And next thing you know, kids are wearing Heart Has No Limit shirts that they're making because we weren't doing anything at that point. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I started realizing I think I've got something a little bit bigger than baseball. So that's when right after I stopped playing at LSU, because we didn't luckily have NIL at that point. I had to wait to made the business, and just started creating clothes just to try and motivate people. I started gathering other people's stories so that maybe if my story doesn't relate, the other kids can, and then it'll push them. It was really just strictly motivation, and and then after I retired, and now we're about to get into that next piece. So.
Yeah, so it went from motivating people with your story. And for those that don't, it's weird to think of this, man, but you've been done at LSU for 10 years.
10 years.
I mean, so there's got to be people. I mean, think if there's like an 18-year-old at LSU right now listening or watching, but they may not remember. I don't remember your career.
It makes
so
me feel old.
No, dude, bro, I felt old when you were playing. All right, 10 years ago. I mean, I still had a little bit of, not a lot, but I had a little bit of hair then. So, remind people, just Cliff's Notes version, remind people of your baseball story.
Yeah, so from the age of 4 when I started, I knew I wanted to play for LSU. Growing up in Mandeville, Louisiana, that's every kid's dream from Louisiana, that they want to play for the Tigers. And I started wearing Tiger jerseys when I was younger, full uniform, all that, and that was my goal. Well, as I got into high school, or a little bit before high school, we started realizing I wasn't growing. My dad's 6'3", my mom's about 5'6", and I just wasn't going anywhere. So I ended up having to go to endocrinologist, figuring out, am I having a growth defect or a growth delay? What is it? Ended up finding that I had a growth delay. So nothing in the sense of like anything was wrong, just my body was behind schedule. And I think I started 26 months behind schedule. Last time I went was like up to like 19, and that's where pretty much I was staying. So I didn't hit my first growth spurt till my junior year in high school. I started high school at 5'1", 97 pounds. I got to, by the time I graduated, I was about 5'6", 145 soaking wet. Then I hit my second growth spurt when I got into my sophomore year at Delgado. But as I'm growing up, I was, one of the guys on every travel ball team, and I was being told how good I was on the high school team. I was second base shortstop, leading the team, and everybody just kept saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see where you're going to play." But get in my end of my junior year, I end up hitting 400, make all state. I'm like, here it is. I'd start rolling in. Senior year, I come back, I hit 260. I've got no calls at the end of the year. I'm crying on the kitchen counter with my parents. Like, I don't get this. Everybody's saying I'm this good. I know what I can do. Why am I not getting an opportunity? And I was getting overlooked, obviously, because of my size. But now looking back, I see how small I was. But at that time, it did not matter to me, nor did I care. I knew I could go out there and perform against the best players. So luckily we called in a couple favors, and 3 weeks before college was supposed to start, Joe Sherman gave me an opportunity to go over there. And then walked in there, thought I was going to redshirt, ended up beating out Cody Farrell, who became one of my better mentors. He was starting second baseman of the year. I was there the year before, and I thought he was just kind of going to have the spot. They went to the World Series, all that, ended up beating him out. Ended up having a pretty decent freshman year, hit like 266, made like 7 errors. But I had good games in the big times, and then really got on a nutrition plan. My sophomore year, I was like, I need to change this look a little bit more. So I tried to put on some weight. Miserable 2 months of just eating. But it raised some eyes for me. And I remember I was off. My dad was at one of the functions for him, and somebody had told him that they heard LSU was looking at me. They're like, "Oh, you didn't hear? Don't go tell Cole." Like, he's like, "All right, I got to go to the bathroom real quick." So he runs to the bathroom. He's like, "Bro, LSU's looking at you." So like our dreams finally starting to happen, and then sophomore year came, and ended up getting that offer, and yeah, the rest was history.
Yeah, it's an awesome story, and it's now sort of become Heart Has No Limit that Cole's been carrying on. So let's tell people about like what the organization has become.
Yeah, so right after I retired in 2023, I was like, I want to do more to help people, and I had this organization or this for-profit, and I was like, what can I do to, help kids go achieve their dreams? And obviously one of the big things is the mindset, and that was one of my big things was I always believed that I could. So I ended up calling a friend of mine, Brendan Hitzman, and, he asked me a question, what do you want to do? I get into the whole thing. I want to help somebody. He's like, well, hey, I've got my business partner, Joel Guthrie, that's been in the nonprofit land. He's like, maybe we can get on call, see if this happens. And one of the reasons why I was like kind of at the end of my career was like, hey, I'm ready to start making some money because I've been putting in all this effort, and how much we make in minors and stuff like that. And I could kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel that, hey, look, this probably isn't going to be the scenario I hope for, and checking that last box of being a big leaguer. And we met on that meeting, and next thing you know, he's like, this is a real thing. So I sat back and I was like, well, I started a nonprofit. I'm not making the money anytime soon, But I kind of sat there and was like, I feel like this is a sign from God. Like, if I don't capitalize on this momentum right now, then I might never get to go back and try this out. So, that's when I started my second dream now, and started the nonprofit. And what we are is a belief development program. And we just try to instill belief into young adults and young kids' minds from an early age, so that whenever life throws those battles at, that nobody can stop from coming, that they know how to handle those situations in the best way to, make the adjustment, and then ultimately for them to achieve their goal.
Love it, man. Cole Freeman's our guest. Let me knock out a quick break, okay? We got you for another segment. We'll come back. I want to pick up there. We'll talk about the exciting next phase of Heart Has No Limit. I want to ask Cole some baseball stuff as well, as Tigers obviously had a disappointing season, but looking to bounce back. How can they do that? We'll get into that with Cole Freeman as we continue. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, it's hot outside. I mean, it's 85 degrees, starting to get the humidity. The heat index is going up. Make sure, if you haven't done it yet, you call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air, get your preseason AC tune-up. It's not too late. It's still the preseason, right? It's still May. I mean, I know it's already 85 degrees out there, but we're not into the everyday triple-digit temps here yet. Mention the Moscona special. Mention the show. they'll knock $30 off that price. River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onehourbr.com. I've been saying it for years. You wouldn't drive across the country without getting your oil changed, make sure your vehicle is in tip-top shape to get you where you're going. Don't go into summer in Louisiana without making sure your AC is ready to roll. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Everyone is looking for ways to save money, always. Have you looked at what you're paying for insurance? Look, we got to have car insurance, got to have homeowners insurance. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. Same with your business as well. I mean, if you looked at maybe how you might be able to save on your insurance for your business to help your bottom line. Incredible testimonials that our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana tell me every day. Give them a shout, 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Just 2 customers last week from AFR. One had a high auto rate with State Farm, smashed it with Geico, saved $2,900 a year. Another had been with Allstate, switched to Progressive, saved nearly $1,500 a year. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them shop for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Really excited to have Cole Freeman in studio with us, former Tiger. Great, doing great things in this next phase of his life post-baseball with Heart Has No Limit. And as you said, it's an organization aimed at helping instill belief in young people, belief in themselves. So you keep proving the concept and working and tilling the soil and sowing good seeds, and good things are happening. So give us the update on what's next.
Yeah, so what's next is about a month and a half ago, we secured our first NCAA Division I partner.
Love it,
so
man.
We're going to have our first pilot program going through their student athletes, testing our optimism curriculum. We'll test their mindset before with a pre-survey, go through the curriculum, and then test with a post-survey. Because we believe this stuff works. We know this stuff works. It's worked for me. It's worked for my team. But we don't want somebody to have to take our word for it. We want them to see hard data showing that we are making the impact that we think we can.
How do you show hard data?
So what you end up doing is you end up coming up with a pre-survey whatever questions. There's Lot R, these are some surveys that are already out there, and then DeWick, Denver's, and you're able to gauge on certain questions on, where's their mindset right now. Are they looking at problems in an optimistic way, or is it just Debbie Downer type stuff? So they'll end up going through that. They end up going through our optimism curriculum, which is 3 modules. It's a 3-week program. They'll watch about a 10 to 12-minute video on it. After that, we have an actual workbook that they'll go through. They'll answer a couple of questions there. They'll have 6 days of implementation of trying to implement that into their daily life. Come back the next week, do the same thing. And then they'll get to the end of the 3rd week. Then they'll take the post survey. At that point, it'll be kind of the same survey, and we'll be able to gauge the questions from before and after and see if ultimately are they more optimistic about their situation.
It's really cool. I'm listening to you talk, and obviously there's a lot of people who listen that are maybe business owners in the professional workplace. Is this something that would work for business owners as well? Are you strictly focusing on young people?
This would work for anybody. This is stuff that, especially the athletic side, and when you get to my age now,
stop acting like you're old, man. You ain't old, dude. You still got your build, man. You got beautiful flowing locks. I mean, you ain't old. You got a long way to go, man.
But yeah, it's not specifically for sports or young kids. It's just we're trying to get this into a young kid or a young adult's mind early, just to prepare them. Now it's accessible by everybody, and that's what we're building it for. Is for the masses. Like we touched on it a little bit in the break. It's for the entire ecosystem. Yeah. We're just trying to change the mindset of people to where that they can handle these tough problems that life is going to throw at you. Because obviously once you end up making it through a tough problem, maybe you realize that problem wasn't as big. I was just making it that big. So what if I look at it in a different perspective that, okay, it could have gone way worse too, ultimately. So yeah, just really trying to optimize the mind as much as possible.
It's hearthasnolimitfoundation.com is the website. Hearthasnolimitfoundation.com. Spell it all out. Hearthasnolimitfoundation.com if you want to learn more. It's congrats on getting the D1. We just called it not a test case. Would you call it a
pilot program?
A pilot program. Study, so the D1 pilot program. That's awesome. Can't wait to hear how that goes, man. If you're a high school younger or a business owner looking and maybe interested, something sparks you, go check out the curriculum at the website at hearthasnolimitfoundation.com. Connect there. People can connect with you. I know there's the contact button that connect with you there.
Yeah, there's a donation if you want to end up joining our cause, or underneath they've got my contact information, so you can obviously reach me there, or even on Instagram at Cold Drink. We're trying to, this stuff that especially right now, we're trying to collect the data on it, so we are trying to give it out as much as possible. There is no charge for anything. We come straight in. We've got our donors on the side. So if you want to be one of those donors, make sure you reach out to me.
That's an important part to note that I probably should have started with, is that it's if there's no charge to a school or a team to try to implement this, as it is nonprofit. So that's awesome, man. Congrats on everything, man, to see this all moving through. So get online and learn more. If you're at hearthasnolimitfoundation.com. I know that I wanted to ask you. I know that Coach Menairie's on your board for Heart Has No Limit. And look, it didn't go well at South Carolina for him. Were you surprised?
Definitely was surprised, for sure. I think he had his first losing season last year, I want to say, in his entire career.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was.
I mean, I don't know what, like maybe back at St. Thomas back in the day, but you would know better than me.
I believe it was his first losing season. I mean, I know Notre Dame and obviously what he did here spoke for itself. But, more upset for him than anything, just because, I mean, that man cares about his players a ton, especially if you show up and you give him everything you got. Even if you're not performing at what he's expecting you to, as long as you're going there every day, putting in the work, he's going to have your back. I think also, too, at South Carolina, they were a little bit unfair to him, too, especially with, how the new game is with NIL and all that. I mean, they're expecting him to come out and, almost have a championship team right off the bat. I think that's a little unfair to ask for him, but that's what comes when you're one of the best coaches to ever, coach in college baseball. So, and I know he understands that too. But yeah, wish it would have went a little bit different for him, just especially at the end of his career.
It's so interesting, man. Carolina is a place. Remember when Paul took that job? They're an SEC program with great history, and they won national championships. The interesting thing, though, is the investment in that program hasn't maybe matched the top of the conference, but the expectations have never waned, which makes it a really, really difficult situation to go in. Kind of what you just alluded to. Like, I mean, you want to expect great things, you got to invest great things. I'm not sure South Carolina did that in their roster and NIL and otherwise, but I know the Metairies had built a home here before Coach took the job there at South Carolina, so I'm fairly certain the expectation is still that he'll retire here and spend the rest of his days here, which is awesome, and have him sort of around the program and as an ambassador of the program for years to come. I'm sure will be the case.
As he should. And I mean, you want a guy around the program like that, especially. I mean, his name is going to be forever etched in stone, and obviously what he's done, the players he's made that came out of here. I mean, they're obviously still doing big things in the MLB. So, I hope him and his family end up staying here.
I'm sure they will. The interesting thing too in the current state of the program is right now how to get back, right? And I'm so interested, Cole, because like you played in a different era, and you're the guy that was sort of like the quintessential LSU baseball player that most people of any era could describe, right? The kid who grew up would give an arm to wear the uniform, like just to be out on the field. And there's a never-ending list of those guys. And it's just interesting in this era how building a roster is just different now. It is. So what do you think Jay Johnson needs to do to get the program back to where everyone expects it to be?
I think maybe you don't go after the big names just because they're a big name. Like York, for example. I went and saw his stats at where he was, and they were pretty good. But is he getting those hits in the midweek games and then kind of faltering on the conference tournaments? What's he doing on Friday when he's facing the best pitcher? Going a little bit deeper into, okay, is there any holes in his swings? Because, I mean, when you come into the SEC, obviously you're getting the best of the best. And not only that, when you come to LSU, you're getting the best of the best every single game, even during the midweeks. The midweeks, they're going to save, especially if it's out of conference, the midweeks are going to save their top guy to come in because there's points, especially if they come into our field and beat us. I think they end up getting a full 2 points or something, which ends up getting them to the postseason much easier. So you're getting everybody's best, and that's pretty tough because you always got to show up. And I know that's one thing we struggled with my senior year. I think we lost like 7 or 8 midweek games when we crushed during the SEC. I think he's got to go after more grit guys, more of those dirtbag players, and maybe it won't even cost you that much, or maybe better locker room guys too as well. Because like I brought up yesterday on Hesser's Rock, Russell Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
He was the glue for our team in a sense, because if something was going wrong in the locker room, he'd shut it down real quick. He was kind of the bad boy player. Now, I don't know if this team had that. I might be speaking a little out of turn just because I don't fully know what they had going on in the locker room, but it seemed like that from afar that they were missing something like that. So maybe going a little bit deeper into, what are their statistics, not overall, but is there any glaring misses there? And then, again, getting just a couple hard-nosed guys to get in there, get dirty, and really know what the culture of LSU is about.
And would you see, one more thing, what did you see from the pitching that had so much arm talent? Like, God, I mean, Cole, every dude's out there chucking 95, 97, like snapping off breaking balls. Like the ability is undeniable. The ability to throw strikes was a problem. So, like, what did you see with a trained eye watching the pitching staff?
My first thing that I go to is the environment. When you've got talent like that, especially if they've already proven at some other schools, well, what's the big difference now? Okay, yes, they're definitely facing consistent hitters, better consistent hitters more often. But like you just said, the strike zone, inch out the zone, ball out the zone, 2 balls out the zone. What's that heart doing? Are they able to embrace 12,000 in the stands every time? Are they able to embrace, if they had a bad outing, what's X saying? What's Tiger Dropping saying? Like, there comes a lot with putting on the LSU uniform. And, I mean, we had players at the time that were big-name guys and came in here, and just that pressure ended up eating them. And just from afar, I think that's what it was maybe the number 1, number 2 status starting the year, then them coming in and maybe them trying to have their expectations too high for themselves at that point instead of just, getting grounded, getting in there, getting a couple reps in, feeling good, and then building from there. To me, it's got to be pressure when they're just a bunch of balls. that heart beats a lot faster. They're sweating a lot more. Just the game is moving a lot faster to them.
Bro, it's so weird that regionals are going to start on Friday and LSU's not playing. It's a really weird thing because the expectation, I know nobody has an expectation higher for this program than Jay Johnson.
Yeah.
That LSU's not in, and there's probably nobody I'd rather have working to get him back.
Did you see the statistic that came out? How many games we lost in the SEC? I think it was 21.
Yeah, they were 9-21.
We haven't lost that many games since we had entered the SEC. Since 1933.
It's wild.
That's mind-boggling,
Yeah.
especially with where we started. It wasn't like my junior year when we came in. It was like, oh, we got to replace Bregman and all these guys and got some JUCO guys coming in. What are we going to have? It was their number one, number two.
Yeah.
And then that ends up happening. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we had Curiel and Gavin Guidry and Cooper Moore and Chris Stanfield in studio yesterday. And I think we're having the convo with Derek and with Gavin that, like, I've talked to some scouts who think, like, the raw talent on this team alone, we may look back in 10 years, 15 years, whatever, and this team may produce more big leaguers than any of Jay's previous teams. It sounds wild to think of it. But you're just talking about projectability.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's you get it. I mean, but that's what scouts are looking for. They're looking for prospects that they can project who will one day get in their farm system and become a big league.
Right.
And this team kind of had that, but it just didn't come together, man. It's an
camaraderie. I'm telling you, it's that camaraderie. You've got to have each other's backs.
See if they can figure that out this offseason and get the right blend. No doubt that Jay Johnson's the right guy to get him back. And no doubt we'll keep up with Cole Freeman doing awesome things. HeartHasNoLimitFoundation.com. Check out the website, HeartHasNoLimitFoundation.com. Always great to see you, man. Thank you for the time.
I appreciate you always having me on.
Of course. We'll continue to do it. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. All this rain, all this nasty weather. You got water intrusion at your house, your business. Let Jim Woodworth and the gang come. They'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's efficient. It's cost-effective. It's more effective. They can fog your home in half a day. It's ParishRestoration.com. Mold remediation done right the first time. ParishRestoration.com. Check them out online. Get that quote, ParishRestoration.com. All right, I got a break. Come back when we return. Remember, Kendall Rogers in 30 minutes. Speaking of regionals, we'll preview regionals with Kendall in about 30 minutes. And big news out of Congress with the bipartisan legislation that's now moving forward. Jeff Watson, who's an attorney on Gordon McKernan's team, does a lot of NIL work. He's going to be with us to talk like if this is even legally plausible. He'll kind of give us some layman's terms answers to some of that coming up here in about 45 minutes from right now. When I got a quick break, stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
I've heard so much talk about things like peptides, hormone replacement therapy. If you're curious, go to Goodwood, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. I was talking with someone yesterday. It's funny because the name's funny, the logo's funny, and I get it. You got to get past that. It's an attention-grabbing thing, and it works. People notice it all the time. But the bottom line is, what they do at Goodwood is help men feel your best to live your optimal life. Okay, literally every single one of us. Nobody is exempt. Every one of us, as we age, our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Things that help us have mental clarity, sleep well at night, waking energy, build muscle, burn fat, all those things. If you can regain that youthful feeling again, simple blood test can set you on that path. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
SEC spring meetings going on in Florida, and I think really the central topic and talking point going on at all of these spring meetings that will persist throughout the entire offseason and into the season toward December is the future of the college football playoff. Is it going to stay at 12? Do they expand to 24? Do they go to 16? Which does not seem likely. As a matter of fact, there was a report today from On3 that citing a Big Ten source that 16 is off the table. There was some consideration of going to 16 for 3 years and then expanding to 24. But that Big Ten source told On3 today, the idea of 16 is off the table. And remember, you have to have the Big Ten and the SEC agree to be able to change the format. Otherwise, it stays at 12. Well, one thing that is certainly going to be a part of this conversation is conference championship games. It's a very complicated part of this entire conversation because if you go to 24, the way the calendar would work out, conference championship games go away, right? You would play, the regular season would end on Thanksgiving weekend, and the next week would be the first round of the college football playoff on campus. And you'd have 2 rounds on campus, and then you would likely filter into the New Year's Six, as they're known now, and the quarters, the semis, then you play the championship game on January the 7th, 8th. You know, that for the Monday on the first full week of January. So you'd have to do away with the SEC championship games. Now, Kirby Smart has kind of stumped for keeping the SEC championship game and the value of that game. And there is a financial component of that, which is undeniable. And Greg Sankey's talked about that. And honestly, you have contracts. Like, you have a contract with the city of Atlanta. You have a contract with now ESPN for that game. Can you legally break that contract? If so, would it cost? Is it worth doing? All that sort of stuff still needs to be answered. But Lane Kiffin, when sort of discussing Kirby Smart's comments about the SEC championship game, kind of punched back with the counter argument at Kirby.
Yeah, I don't have a lot on it. You know, there's certain subjects that come up that I really feel strong on. I think that one's hard to figure out, you know, because, you know, he can say he loves the game, but did he love it when he lost his, you know, quarterback in the game? You know, so for the playoffs. So there's things there's good and bad to it, and I think the variable of what is the playoff and how many are in it and what is that seeding like and how many automatic I think you need to know that, in my opinion, before you make the decision on the championship game.
It's important to remember Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin are, I think it's fair to say, friends. They're certainly friendly. When Lane was on Pardon My Take, he talked about being in the text groups with Kirby. They're kind of the OGs. I mean, Kirby's the elder statesman of the conference now, which is weird to think, but it's true. So I think Lane could make that comment, but that had to be a shot across the bow, and he's not wrong. I mean, Georgia, I'm not saying that if Carson Beck were not injured in the SEC championship game that Georgia would have gone on to beat Notre Dame in that Sugar Bowl and maybe win the national championship. I don't know that would have been in the cards for that Georgia team. But I think it stands to reason that Georgia would have had a better shot of beating Notre Dame in that Sugar Bowl with Carson Beck than with Gunnar Stockton making his first ever start. That's not some outlandish statement, right? Stockton has got Georgia back to the playoff this year, and I think is a very good player, obviously. But Lane kind of knew where to punch there, and I think he hit the right button, as a matter of fact. The financial component is interesting as well because the SEC championship, it's estimated, generates somewhere $80 to $100 million a year in revenue for the league's members, okay? So if you're looking at, $100 million in revenue, and you divide that 17 ways, right? Because it's split. It goes into the pot. So it's not what, but it goes in the pot, and it's divided up 17 equal ways, 16 members, and then the league office gets a share. That comes out to about, at the high end, the 100, if they generate 100 million, the high end, it comes out to about $5 to $6 million a year, which is not insignificant. Okay, but that game alone doesn't even make up for the deficiency of the $20 million line item you added with revenue share. So I guess the way to say it is it worth keeping that game and altering your entire postseason over $5 million? And the answer is probably not. That's not the deal breaker. But you have to make up that revenue. So this is really the question. And I don't have the answer because I'm not looking at the financials. I don't know what's going to happen. But the question is, does going to 24 replace the money you're going to lose by taking away the conference championship game? Now, for every other league, the answer is yes, because the SEC championship game by far is the most successful. Premier time, sponsor dollars, sold out, all that sort of stuff. It's the oldest conference championship game and the most successful by a country mile. It's not even debatable. So all the other leagues could very easily replace that revenue by expanding the playoff. The SEC would be the one where you go, we'd have to see what the financials look like. But my guess is going to 24 will. Now, we saw a couple of weeks ago that ESPN says their preference would be not expanding the playoff. Well, naturally, because if they expand the playoff, that's more TV inventory. ESPN would have to pay more for an expanded playoff. And I don't think they have a great temperature maybe to do that right now. So do you see multiple broadcast outlets come into play? Maybe, maybe not. But you could see something like what's happened with the NCAA basketball tournament with CBS and Turner sharing the rights. It could happen. That wouldn't be the preference, certainly for ESPN, ABC. But it may be what has to happen if Fox or a streaming service like Netflix or Apple or whatever, Prime, whatever, decide to get involved. They'll make it work. They'll make it work. But financially, that's the one thing that's got to make sense. Now, speaking of Kirby, he also sort of, I mentioned saber rattling, and this is a common thing. And it's kind of like, if we don't get our way, we'll take our ball and go home. And Kirby made the boldest statement yet about that.
I've said this for a long time to our president. I've been a huge advocate that if we can't find rules that everybody plays by, then we should play our own. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to break away and say that our conference is strong enough to go out and play. I mean, like, if we could actually function and it financially would make our programs more stable and we could support things financially, I'm talking about all the sports, and do by our own rules, I'd be all for that. I mean, I've been to this meeting now 10, 11 times, and it's frustrating at times to say, well, we can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because we'll get sued. We can't do that. And we're just trying to do things for the betterment of the sport and the betterment of the student athletes. And that's not curtailing what money they make. I'm not advocating that they make less money. I'm fine with what student athletes make. I'm trying to make it where it's as equal and as comparable footing for everybody, and it's not a race to the bottom, as they say.
It's important to note what Kirby's talking about there is not specifically the conference championship game as where we started this. But what he is saying is, like, if we can't come to an agreement on all things, not only a playoff, but rules, like if the NCAA rules your player ineligible, you're not going to go to court to sue to gain eligibility. He's ineligible. Then let's break away and do our own thing, is what he's saying. Now, the SEC could certainly sustain itself independently. It would look dramatically different. I don't think that's where this thing is headed. But when you have as big a voice as there is in college football, and Kirby Smart saying, I've told our president, let's break away and be independent, it's a strong voice in the room that at least commands attention and respect and consideration. And I don't think we're headed there. But I think what it does is influences other people to try to reach across the table to meet you halfway in what is a very complex time in college athletics history. All right, it's after further review. You got feelings, you can always get in. You can email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways that you get involved in the show. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back. We used to do Tigers and the Pros. Kendall Rogers here in 15 minutes. We've got a jam-packed 5 o'clock hour. Kendall Rogers, Jeff Watson, Sean Fazende from OTAs in New Orleans. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. If you need the best people in the right jobs in your organization to be the most effective, efficient, productive, profitable organization you can be, Glow Resources. Check them out. glowresources.com. It doesn't matter where your business is physically or where you physically do work. Glow Resources can help you find people all over the country, the world, to find the right people to be the most productive and profitable you can be. Like right now, they're hiring an entry-level maintenance technician for a company in Gonzales, Louisiana. You want that info, you can get it at glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They're looking for an entry-level paver operator in Mandeville. I can keep going all day. Accounts receivable clerk in Gonzales. In Full Shear, Texas, they need a lattice boom crane operator. The point is, whether it's skilled blue-collar labor or any type of office job, you need to hire the right people. You want Glow Resources. glowresources.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
Real quick, you just heard us talk about, or you just heard the jingle for Parish Construction and Roofing. The Louisiana Department of Insurance a day ago announced an expansion of the fortified roof program. If you're not familiar, I'll way oversimplify this. A fortified roof adds an extra layer of security to your roof. So in the event of roof damage, it'll prevent water intrusion. So the idea is, storm comes, you might have roof damage. We're trying to prevent water from getting in your house, which would then create a big mess, right? Sheetrock and contents of the home and all that stuff. So insurance companies love it. So the state wants more fortified roofs in Louisiana. Parish, we are the state's first certified fortified roofing company. We've done dozens and dozens and dozens of fortified roofs, so we'd love to help you out. The state is awarding 3,000 grants of up to $10,000 to get a fortified roof. If you want to apply, go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Get the banner right at the top of the homepage, parishbuilt.com. I think you'd see it. If you see right there, the banner right at the top of the homepage, parishbuilt.com, where you can go sign up. It'll take you right to the link at the LDI website to sign up. And when you sign up for a grant, if you're awarded, you can also choose your roofing company. We'd love it if you choose us at Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Okay, Muse, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Kevin Gausman, another really solid outing for him. The Toronto Blue Jays back on Wednesday. 5 innings, just the 1 run allowed. It was earned. 2 walks and 5 punch-outs. Got through it on 95 pitches. Unfortunately, got stuck with a no decision in the game. When he left, it was Toronto had a 1-0 lead, but they would it was tied at 1-1. They would actually take the lead in the 6th after he was out, so he got the no decision there. But another solid outing nonetheless. Hunter Fiducia, our guy. He was the Rays guy last night, man. He's taken over the full-time catching duties in Tampa Bay. Their offense stunk yesterday, but Fiducia did not. He was 3 for 4, led the team in hits. All 3 of those were singles. Was not retired until his 4th at bat.
Why would he retire? He's still a young guy.
Was not retired by the pitcher until his 4th at bat, which came in the 8th inning of that ball game. Rays lost 11-2. Alex Bregman, 2 for 6. No. 2 for 6, his 8th double of the season. The other was a single. Did come around to score once in the game. And the Cubbies snapped that losing streak at 10 games. Angel Reese fell just short. No. It's an all-boys school. Yeah.
She's not a boy.
She's not a boy.
Nope.
Not a boy. Fell just short of a double-double. 10 points, 8 boards in the game, but did have 5 assists to go along. The Dream were a loser. And how about Anissa Morrow as well? WNBA Connecticut Sun there. Morrow 13-13 a night ago. That is her 6th double-double of the year. That leads the entire WNBA, and the Sun, who have 1 win on the year, lost by 10. That's Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Y'all, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, looking at you, 337. Shreveport, looking at you, 318. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Say it all the time. It's like Goldilocks, man. Just right. The big box stores, impersonal cookie cutter. The boutique jewelers, not as great a selection, tend to be overpriced. Lee Michaels, because they're buying for 9 stores, they have enough buying power to give you great prices, but also a great selection as well. But they're still small enough to give you the amazing customer service experience. They call it the Lee Michaels experience. Go experience that and thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. I happened to be listening to The Oddfather. Well, I was listening to Live at Lunch. I was in the car, had a lunch meeting. It was actually with our friends over at River Parish Contractors. And I was driving back, so I was in the car at the end of Live at Lunch as Ott and Haney were going off air, and Hunt was coming on air. And Ott gave out a pick.
Okay. What was it?
Little day baseball. It was the White Sox and the Twins were playing. He gave the White Sox. Really liked the White Sox, that pitching matchup he did.
Okay.
6-2 winner on the honor.
There we go.
Give me a little bit. When you're hot, you're hot.
Love when you're hot, you're hot.
I mean, did you play a drop there? Or was that you saying something?
No, I played 2 at once because the mouse was stuck in between. That's my bad.
It's 450. That makes sense. Now I got what happened, Muse. The mouse was stuck between 2 buttons. Excuse.
AFR.
Don't worry, Muse. I got your back. We don't P-test anymore. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. Arco.com. ARCCO. Arco.com. Arco.com. Hey, do you own a business? Then you need to know about Arco Power Systems. Do you manage a commercial facility? You need to know about Arco Power Systems. Do you work at a building? Then you need to make sure your boss knows about Arco Power Systems. Because when a storm comes and the power goes out, what happens? Well, at our home, we got a standby generator, right? You should. Well, what happens about your business? Arco, they do not do home standby generators. Arco does standby generators for your business. This is industrial Generac generator power for your business, your commercial industrial facility. Arco.com. Arco.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA's Board of Governors has passed new anti-tanking rules, expands the lottery to 16 teams as a relegation zone where the bottom 3 teams get penalized with lessened chances for the number 1 pick and flattened odds, reports ESPN's Shams Charania.
With this vote, the Board of Governors have now given Adam Silver increased disciplinary authority to implement a wide range of action depending on tanking violations moving forward. Fines up to $10 million. He can take draft picks away. Also, have teams forfeit their picks. He can change picks. He can change odds.
For the first time this NBA postseason, the Spurs facing elimination, down 3-2 to the Thunder, heading into Game 6 of the West Finals, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball owners today proposed a hard salary cap to players as part of the next CBA. It's something the unions vowed to never accept. If no new labor deals reached by December 1st, players likely will be locked out. Claude Lemieux, a 4-time Stanley Cup champ and regarded as one of the greatest playoff performers ever, has died at the age of 60. The cause of death not yet available.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Russo. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Regional baseball starts this weekend. Haven't even looked at the bracket, but Kendall Rogers has. He joins us now. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well. You know, like that Ryan Reynolds gif where he kind of like looks every direction and wonders like where the heck he's at?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of envision you guys feeling like right now.
It's like, Kendall, I've done this job a long time. I've covered LSU athletics since 2007. So 11, well, they missed the postseason in 07. They also missed it in 11. I genuinely don't remember what it felt like in 2011, the last time they missed it. I remember that summer because that was a crazy busy summer. That was the summer when A&M and Missouri came into the SEC or announced they were leaving. There was like an NFL lockout. The Pels got the number 1 pick and picked Anthony Davis. So it was weird because we had a lot to do that summer without LSU baseball. But I don't remember what it was like, what that feeling was like. And I don't like.
You know
but I don't
what?
like
Somebody, hey, I'll tell you this. I'm sure this will get clipped and put on Twitter, and I'll be accused of being a homer. But as a college baseball fan, like I don't love LSU not being in the postseason. Like to me, it's like the MLB postseason without the Dodgers, Yankees, and Red Sox.
Kendall, I don't think that makes you sound like a homer. First of all, you're not an LSU homer. Why would you be? But the other part of it is like you also you run a business that's around college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest brand in college baseball with the most fans.
Usually helps to have the Tigers. Usually helps to have the Tigers involved.
I mean, tell me subscriptions and page views and interest aren't up. Like when D1 Baseball puts on your tournament early in the season, I would imagine the pay-per-view subs are a little higher when the Tigers come to town. Yes?
What's crazy is how much higher it is for LSU versus Texas last year when we had the Longhorns in one of our tournaments. But I will tell you this. This is the last little nugget I'll give. Just kind of give you an idea of how much LSU fans care about college baseball. The number of bracket challenge submissions that we have are down like 4,000, and they're literally all from the state of Louisiana. So there you go. We need y'all back next year. Come on now.
Yeah, we'd love to be back forever and never have to go through this ever again. But look, obviously, it was the right decision. I mean, LSU clearly did not belong in the NCAA tournament. So if folks did not, like me, were in Arizona playing golf on Monday at TPC Scottsdale and did not watch the bracket reveal, what was the most controversial decision?
I have to give this committee credit. I thought Michael Alford and the committee did a really nice job with this field. I think if you're looking for something to really nitpick, I still think Arkansas should have been a host over Mississippi State. I mean, I think you look at a team with 18 quad one wins versus a team that was 9-14 against that same grouping, and you look at the fact they won the head-to-head, they finished in a comparable conference finish. They also, made some noise in Hoover. I was just a little surprised the committee, essentially ignored all those things just because State was ahead of them in the RPI. So, again, kind of in the same vein that I like LSU being in the postseason, I love seeing a regional in Start Vegas for all the pageantry. But I did think they messed that up. The other one for me would probably be, I guess, Mercer being left out. I mean, I get it because the non-conference schedule was so bad. But anytime you see a mid-major with an RPI of 28 and they miss the postseason, it catches your attention a little bit.
Who got the toughest draw?
I really think Nebraska did. I think if you look at that Lincoln Regional with Nebraska as the top seed, obviously hosting for the first time in a long time, that's going to be a scene this weekend. I think they said they were expecting 11,000, 12,000 people to every Nebraska game, which is very LSU/MSU-esque. Ole Miss is a 2 seed and Arizona State is a 3. I think Ole Miss is really dangerous. I look at, the fact that, Hunter Elliott's, healthy. Cade Townsend, Taylor Rave, I thought, one of their weekend guys, has been really good over the last month of the season. And I kind of feel like they've underachieved offensively all year. I kind of wondered in the windy, hot elements this weekend if they kind of explode a little bit. And you have Arizona State with Landon Harrison, one of the best, hitters in college baseball, kind of leading that offense. That regional, to me, all three of those teams could win that thing.
Kendall Rogers is with us, D1 Baseball. Other side of it, who did the committee do a favor to?
I don't know if they really did anybody a favor. I mean, I would say maybe UCLA getting Virginia Tech, who was a very kind of 40-ish RPI as a 2 seed, was a favor. I mean, when it's UCLA, they haven't lost a series all year. They're the number one overall national seed. Like, do you really call it a favor? I mean, I guess the other one for me might be, Auburn. I thought got a favorable draw with UCF and NC State. I actually thought, I'll kind of go back to the negative here just because I kind of noticed it again going through the bracket. North Carolina, how about the road they have to Omaha? I mean, they got to get through Tennessee and East Carolina, BC, one of the better 4 seeds. And oh, by the way, if you win that regional and then the other side wins the regional, you got to face A&M's offense to go to Omaha. That's a really tough road for the Tar Heels.
That is brutal. He's Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. It was also interesting, Kendall, to see the Sun Belt get 5 teams. That's, I guess, just a little surprising to see a non-power league get that many at-large bids. Walk me through how that happened.
Yeah, it's a great question. So this is where Mercer comes into the equation. So Mercer gets left out, 215 non-conference schedule. Troy Texas State, and, I could take the Cajuns out of the equation because I think they kind of earned it with the way they played the last month of the season. But Texas State and Troy, two of the last 4 teams in the field, what's the common denominator with those guys? Go look their non-conference strength of schedule. Troy was number 2 overall. Texas State number 20 overall. So what the committee is telling these mid-majors and what the Sun Belt teams have figured out, play a really tough non-conference schedule. You might be a team like Troy who comes out of the gate pretty slow, but once you kind of get your act together in conference play, all those non-conference games that you played that were difficult, that you might have lost early on, start to really help you out. So that is kind of the lesson for mid-majors all over the country is even if you don't win all those games, play tough teams in non-conference.
Would you think overall of the SEC teams that got in their draws? What stands out?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about most of the SEC. I mean, Georgia, I think they obviously have an extremely favorable draw with Boston College as a 2 seed. I think A&M, I think USC is interesting to watch just because, they're going to pitch off and save Mason Edwards, who has 160 strikeouts on the year. They're going to throw him in the second game. It's a gamble because Texas State can really hit in the role, but if they can win that game, that's a tough matchup for A&M. And, of course, Alabama, I think, has a tough number 2 in Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's played really well down the stretch. And, you guys have seen Alabama, from afar. I don't think they're that good. I mean, I get that they're number 7 national seed, but, like, of the SEC teams that are top kind of 1 or 2 seeds, I might have more conviction in, like, Tennessee winning their regional than I do of Alabama winning its own regional.
The team that in the last month, Kendall, I think that most caught my eye was Florida.
Yeah.
Is that a team that you think has like a real run in them, like get to Omaha, potentially like win the national championship type run?
Yeah, the team I really like right now is Auburn.
Okay.
I saw them up close at Texas A&M here a couple weeks ago when over here in the Lone Star State, and I love their team. I think when you look at the rotation, Andres Alvarez, Alex Petrovic, Jake Marciano, that's a really good rotation, and Jackson Sanders on the back end. And then you look at the offense and the guys like Chase Fraley, that is a deep offensive lineup. It's suddenly a powerful offensive lineup, and they've already had an elite rotation. So, a lot of people are going to go with Georgia Tech, UCLA. I picked Auburn to win the national championship. I love their team right now.
Auburn is the 4 seed nationally. So you got Auburn winning the national championship?
I do. I think it's their year, and the thing that I also like about them, and the same kind of went for LSU last year. One of the common denominators with championship teams is how do they handle stressful situations? You think back to LSU when they had that shocker against Little Rock and how they bounced back from that. And I think about this Auburn team when they've kind of been punched in the mouth this year. Every single time they haven't lost their cool, they haven't panicked, and they've responded in an impressive fashion. And just the fact that that's their approach, it makes me feel really good about them.
Kendall Rogers, D1 baseball. So who does Auburn beat in the championship series?
Oh, boy. I think I had them beating Georgia Tech in the championship series.
Okay.
So, Georgia Tech, the crazy thing about Tech is 8 guys in their everyday lineup, 8 of the 9 hitters in their everyday lineup, Matt, have an OPS over 1,000. I mean, that's a joke. So they've got to get that far, right? I mean, the beauty of college baseball is I don't think they're getting knocked out of the OU or Citadel this weekend. But the beauty of college baseball is they could easily lose a super regional just because that's baseball.
2 out of 3, man. Is that maybe a product of the ACC not being very good?
I guess we'll find out here in
will.
about 24 hours.
Yeah, we will.
Well, maybe not 24 hours because they don't play OU. But
Kendall Rogers, D1baseball.com. We'll send him your way to go fill out some brackets. Hopefully we get that number.
I know, man. Hey, you know what? LSU fans, stay engaged. I have a feeling we'll be back on here in a few weeks to talk about some pretty big portal additions. I know Jay's out there cooking already, so let's talk about.
Let's go. Thank you, dude. We appreciate you, man, as always.
Have a good weekend. See you, bud.
You do the
Bye.
same. That's Kendall Rogers. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Excited about that. We've told you a different URL for you, which still works. FirstSouthLand.com still works, but FirstSouthFarmCredit.com is the new website. Easy to use. It's the name of the business. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. They've been financing rural America since 1916. And they bring more than a century of financial expertise. And I love telling you about First South Farm Credit because this is a business. When you do something so well and you stay around for a century doing it, it speaks volumes. They have a post up. It's a review from Chester who said answered every question as if he didn't know the answer, and if he didn't know the answer, found out quickly. You're talking about a business that their business has been helping people buy land for 100 years, and they're the best at it. 110 years, as a matter of fact. So if you're thinking of buying land, say it all the time. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. 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 All right, y'all. Really good show, man. We are jammed up here in hour 3. Let me move quickly. When we come back, Jeff Watson's going to join the show. He's part of the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys team. Jeff handles a lot of NIL, NCAA legislation type stuff. So with the proposed bipartisan legislation, the Save College Sports Act, want to get Jeff's reaction. Like, I guess my one question is this even constitutional? Like, can it hold up? We'll ask Jeff when we come back. Stay here at AFR.
After further review.
Okay. They have, I tell you all the time, to buy local, shop local over at Clegg's Nursery, to bypass the big box stores and support great local retailers and great local businesses. And I really do encourage you to do that always, and especially to support our great sponsors and partners like Clegg's Nursery. Right now, great deals going on. Tell you all the time to just plant something, right? Just plant something over at Clegg's Nursery. And right now, if you want to create a tropical paradise, they have these dramatic flowers that add a bold tropical flair to your patios, around the pool all summer. Dippledinia, hibiscus, these beautiful flowers. And right now, the entire stock is 20% off the regular price. You got to get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations to buy and to save. So, Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every raisin.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Progress is bipartisan legislation in Congress, the Protect College Sports Act. Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell co-authoring this legislation. The question is any of this stuff actually constitutional? Like, even if it passes, or is this just getting tied up in court? Jeff Watson, part of the team over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, keeps up on all the NIL stuff and all the legalities. He can sort of make sense of it in layman's terms for us. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
Hey, bud, doing great.
Okay, I'm not sure if you've read the 1,100-page bill yet, but do you have an overall thought on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I do, and I've read a lot and read different angles from proponents and people that are, against it, for it. Athletes.org is one of the sites, that is against it, and then obviously you have everyone else who involved with the NCAA and the conferences and the schools that are for it. And essentially, you remember last time when we talked about Trump doing the order where he was just saying, hey, somebody do something. I think a lot of people are taking this, that this is the let's start something and let's do something. And so this is a rough draft, if you will, of here's all the issues that we believe are out there, and let's address them in a rough draft, and let's get this started. And that's kind of where we are right now, addressing everything from, NIL, agent regulation, the Lane Kiffin rule with the coaches, the media rights pooling, protecting students and the other non-revenue programs. And then obviously one of the main things is dealing with the booster collective kind of not traditional NIL money that is coming through that is funding a lot of all the programs.
What do you see as the biggest roadblocks?
The antitrust coming through with no representation by the students. That's the biggest thing. That's what athletes.org is all over. If you go to their website and look, they did a response to it. It's really a well thought out response where they're like, what you're doing is you're trying to give back the power from the NCAA that we've been fighting through these lawsuits without the other side's ability to be involved in the rule setting. Okay, so you don't have collective bargaining. But what this can do is start that process, because just to let you know where this goes, it goes from this to it gets into a markup stage where everyone is going to be reviewing it, and subcommittees are going to be created that are going to address each one of these issues, and there will be numerous changes to this act before it is ever submitted for vote at Congress. So you go from here to markup to officially being on the vote. Then if it passes, then it goes to Trump's desk for a signature. So we're a long way from that, and we're at the very beginning of these are all the issues. This is how we think you should handle it. Now let's go and talk about it and see if we can't get a final draft of this act to send to Congress.
Okay. Jeff Watson is with us with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, giving us some perspective here, some legal perspective on the Protect College Sports Act. Is it even possible, Jeff, to cap what student athletes can earn?
That is the problem. If, and Matt, I say this in all sincerity that both of you and I both have the same hair issue. And so if, Pine Sol wanted to have or Mr. Clean would want to have another person doing their commercials and all, and they came to you and said, hey, I want to pay you this to do it, there's no one that could stop you from getting that money or earning that money. That is the inherent problem with this, which is why the antitrust part of this is the biggest issue. But if you have the students on the other side negotiating this, Now we can get something that everyone has agreed to and have some teeth in it. But that's what this act sets up. It's the issue. So the SCORE, that was the SCORE Act that came out that kind of got busted up pretty quickly. That addressed it differently than this, where at least this act allows the possibility of collective bargaining by the students down the road, which most people that believe that went through the SCORE Act did not. And that's a bunch of legal issues with whether they non-employees or employees and that, and I won't get into all of that because it's very complicated issues. But in a nutshell, that's what one of the big differences that this does lend itself to that in the future, which is the way you get this to where both sides can kind of agree to it.
The Lane Kiffin clause,
Yeah.
which would prevent a coach effectively from leaving their school before the season's over. Is that legal?
Well, I think that's part of, we're going to put all of these restrictions on students and athletes. Why are we not doing something for the coaches? And so I think the Lane Kiffin rule, taking coaches from other programs while their sports season is still underway, I think that's part of it. Well, let's control the coaches as well. And again, you would want a representative from the coaches to negotiate and kind of help this process along. But this is definitely a start, with like last time we talked with the Trump deal, like somebody do something. And this is a bipartisan, both sides agreeing that, hey, this is an issue. And while we differ on a lot of stuff, let's see if we can, concede some areas and get a drafted act that we can start with so we can try to get this college sports, NIL, collectives under control.
Aside from just the literal sense that we are a day closer, do you think we are any closer to actual resolution?
I think we are. I don't think it's going to be quick. I think we got a lot of work to do. You made the point. I think the biggest thing is what is fair market value for an NIL deal for a kid, because this doesn't limit NIL. It's really a shot at the media company rights, the way they've negotiated, and the way the big boosters have been able to put money into a collective to support a program, limiting that, because that's where a lot of this money is coming from. At Gordon's office, we do true NIL deals. We sign a kid, he has to do things. We look at the value, we submit it to NIL Go, we get approval, and they want it to look more like what we do than a booster dumping $5 million into a collective and the athletes are getting paid that way. So having a bona fide product that you can sell, like, a fast food place or, someone that has an actual product that they're promoting, whether it be a service or an actual product like a food, I think that's one of the big ways that you can control this and get it reasonable. So it's a start.
It's a start.
A lot of work to do. Like I said, this is going to go from this to a markup to submission to then approval for a vote and then a signature. But in between there's going to be a lot of negotiations, a lot of changes in what they've put in here. Maybe you get to a point where you do collective bargaining as part of the process of getting to the act. I don't know, but this will change a lot. This is a very rough draft. Many revisions, changes before this gets anywhere near ready to submit.
Okay. Jeff Watson with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys does a great job helping us out with some legal perspective on all the NIL, legal wrangling, everything going on here. And the Protect College Sports Act is the next iteration, first bipartisan piece of legislation we've seen. So I guess it is a step in the right direction. Jeff, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time as always.
Thank you, bud.
All right, man. Be well. It is after further review. Speaking, Jeff mentioned, of course, Gordon McKernan's done so many NIL deals. So too has Our Lady of the Lake, where we remind you success takes a team and not just on the field. At FMOL Health, that team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system. As a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not one but two exceptional workplace awards from Gallup, FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the demand and the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for its student-athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner. And that tells you everything you need to know, because the same level of care isn't just for athletes, for you, your family, and communities across the region. It's bigger than sports. It's about having a health system you can count on. So, FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. All right, appreciate Jeff. A good perspective there. The long story short seems to be this is a rough draft that's going to get marked up tremendously. Not even close to being submitted for a vote in Congress. Expect a lot of changes, and the antitrust considerations are the biggest hurdle right now if you're not going to have athlete representation at the table. So, but how do you do that if you don't collectively bargain? And it's just super complicated. I don't know how we get closer to a resolution, but they're working on it. So, in the meantime, carry on. All right, Saints had their second day of OTAs. Sean Fazende was there as Kellen Moore met with reporters. He'll join us next. It's AFR.
After further review.
Man, it's a great time to get by Renaissance Baton Rouge and check out Tallulah if you haven't been yet, or if you've been but you haven't been in a while. So Chef Reed over at Tallulah has taken over for Chef Jason Hebert, who's now over the entire food operation for Renaissance and for Watermark and the whole operation. Well, Chef Reed has reimagined the menu at Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge, and my goodness, there are some humdingers. And I would say it's a casual upscale dining experience, how they describe it. So it's not fine dining, but it's not fast food. It's not just a restaurant. It's not a hotel restaurant. It's a casual upscale dining experience right there in Renaissance Baton Rouge. So hop on in for lunch, an affordable, delicious business lunch. You want a date night on the town? Go have a cocktail, craft beer, whiskey, glass of wine. You can do it right there at Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The First time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Obviously, that group we feel really good about. There's a ton of depth. There's a ton of talent in that group. Guys that played for us last year, guys we acquired this year. And so it's going to be a really competitive group. It's going to be a group that, we'll hold them to a high standard because we have a lot of really good expectations for those guys. And so, it's great. And those guys will all mix in there, in various groups, with which quarterbacks they're with and different positions and different roles. We just got to kind of utilize all those different opportunities for those guys to find the matchups.
That was Saints head coach Kellen Moore after day 2 of OTAs, meeting with reporters, talking about the receiver group. And Jordan Tyson out there, but apparently limited. Sean Fazende, our friend from Fox 8, good enough to hang out. He was there at OTAs. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. How are you?
Really well. So any observations from the receivers today?
Well, there's a lot of them. 13, I think, on the roster right now. Yeah, they're getting a lot of work, a lot of mixing and matching. Olave out there, Vele out there, Polk, Kevin Austin Jr. Tyson was out there doing a little bit of sort of the, receiver, group drills, but not even all of it. It was just very, very limited work, but he was there observing, and the last time we were able to see him on the field was the first day of rookie mini camp, so I'm sure it's some sort of kind of precautionary plan they have with the way they want to utilize him throughout the offseason. But, yeah, I think the big takeaway from the receiver room is there's a lot of them. And, frankly, they needed that kind of investment in that room just given what they were, left with by the end of last season. And it's obviously the huge need, for some playmakers on the edge and a tight end as well.
Yeah. Attendance is always interesting because OTAs are voluntary, right? Mm-hmm. So Chris Olave, despite his contract negotiation, was there. Alvin Kamara was not. Let's take those one at a time and talk about what your impression was of Olave being at OTAs.
Well, it's a good sign. Probably a good sign that, perhaps negotiations right now are on the right track to get the extension done. And for the most part, if you look at the Saints' track record, they eventually get it done with the player that they value, that they know they're going to be paying, a decent contract to with an extension. It doesn't always happen in the off season. Doesn't always happen in training camp. Sometimes it happens, right at the start of training camp. Sometimes it happens right before the season starts. It's just, it's a process because he's still under contract for one more year, and there's no hard deadline for it, at least not in the immediate term. It depends on the player, but for him being out there right now, and honestly, I think there's an excitement with him, given the way his season went last year, given the way he connected with Kellen, given the way he connected with Tyler Shuck, and frankly, the negotiations at this point seem to be heading in the right direction. So that's a good sign. Alvin Kamara, look, you can make it a red flag if you want to, but the truth of the matter is he's never been here for OTAs, at least not for the last couple of seasons. He's always trained out, I believe it's in Miami, getting ready for the season. I think it would have been more of a green flag had he been here. Then it would have been a red flag for him not to be there. So that was not surprising, even with the call it questions surrounding his future.
Any other? I know there's a handful of players that were not there. Any other of them notable for one reason or another?
Well, Ryan Wright was not there. Zach Wilson was not there. Nathan Shepard was not there. Alvin Kamara was not there. That was not injury related. So, it's a different point in the calendar. As you mentioned before, these are not mandatory. They're voluntary. So there's always going to be a couple of guys that may or may not be able to attend. We were not available. We weren't able to see what if any of those guys were there on Wednesday. So a pretty good number when you talk about just the sheer number of veterans that were there. I decided not to, to show up in the city to perform OTAs for the first time the entire roster can get on the field together. And then there's always you look at some of the injured guys. Kendra couldn't go. Mason Tipton wasn't out there. Then you talk about, Tyson. We talked about him. Christian Miller off to the side. Oscar Delp was full go, but then he had to exit early. It looked like he might have pulled up on one of the routes that he was running during one of the drills and didn't finish practice. So there was a couple of guys that they're still kind of ramping up. And Delp's situation looks like there was something that happened at practice. I guess we'll find out the severity of that soon enough. But for the most part, that was it in terms of attendance. There were the guys that are not in town, and there's also the guys that were there but were not able to participate.
Talking about the Millers, Kendra and Christian, make anything of those two guys not participate, being there but not participating?
Christian Miller didn't participate in rookie minicamp, so not entirely surprising, at least not the day we were out there. So we'll see where he's at from a recovery standpoint. In his case, let's be honest, Matt, it's OTAs. They don't have pads on. And for a lineman, it'll be much more of a concern once those pads come on in training camp. If he's still lingering on the sideline, that would become an issue. Kendra is always an issue. Look, I think it's towards ACL, week 7, week 8 last year. So you can do the math. And this is a guy with an injury history. That is concerning. And hopefully he's back on the field sooner than later, because I would put him squarely on the roster bubble if it continues to be an issue when it comes to availability. So, and it's something that when you watch him play when he's healthy, I think he could be a very productive player, not to mention the fact there is a huge need, depending on what happens with Alvin Kamara, for RB2 on this team right now. So hopefully he can figure it out, find some kind of place where he can withstand the wear and tear of an NFL season and off season, frankly, and hopefully he's back on the field sooner than later.
He's on Twitter at Sean Fazende, Fox 8, if you want to give him a follow. Any notable players that stood out for anything they did on the field?
Look, man, I'll leave you with two. I thought Tyler Shuck looked sharp today. I thought, the difference between last year and this year is just so big. Just because, he described it after practice. Last year I was previewing. This year I'm reviewing everything. Last year he was kind of swimming. He was a rookie coming in the middle of a competition. Trying to figure out NFL practices, and just the sheer body language and just sort of the command he seems to have in year 2 of Kellen Moore's system. They only did a couple 7-on-7 sessions, but he went 10 for 12, really decisive, knew where to go with the football, had a couple of big plays, one on the sideline, throw to Devon Vele, another on a kind of a double move to Jawan Johnson, who beat Caden Ellis, who slipped on the play, and it was a big gain. I don't know, it just feels like I thought comfort was really the theme of the start of this OTAs, both with him and Kellen Moore. Just year 1 was one thing, year 2 you're really starting to build. So I thought Shuck looked sharp. And also, just from a personnel standpoint, probably the most important development was, okay, who's playing the star? Who's playing the nickel, the slot? And we all had our guesses, but today, first crack's going to Jonas Sanker. Last year's 3rd-round pick, played a lot of deep safety last year, but this year, Brandon Staley has trusted him, at least initially, playing that star position. To make no mistake about it, that is a very important position with the way Staley runs his scheme. So Sanker, 2nd-year pro, you're asked to do a lot with that role. You got to cover receivers, got to cover tight ends, you got to blitz, you got to be stout and run support. It's a lot to take on. So if he's already kind of earned the praises of his coaches to get the first crack at it, I think that's significant.
At Sean Fazende, Fox 8, you want to give him a follow? You can do that there. Check him out. Saints back on the practice field for OTAs. Hey, man, we always appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, bud.
Be well. Speaking of Saints at OTAs, of course, they had their practice uniforms on. And if you check out the Saints practice jerseys, you'll notice there's a Rouse's Markets patch on the jerseys. Because Rouse's, official supermarket of the Saints. Rouses.com. Rouses.com. There it is right there. Look. Chase Young with his jersey with his Rouse's patch on there. Rouses.com. Rouses.com. You go to the website, get the weekly ad there. If you're grocery shopping on a budget, you want to check out all the specials they have going on, you go to Rouses.com. Check that out. Always encourage you to check out the Rouse's Facebook page as well. Do a great job every day. I mean, like, they even have an in-house dietitian who does videos giving you cooking recipes and so many awesome resources there on their social media, Facebook, Instagram. So make sure you're following Rouse's on social media. And we always talk about the sales that they got going on. How about this right now? The Crazy 88 sale. I like this a lot. How about this? 100% premium USDA Angus choice beef. These are boneless New York strip steaks. $10.88 a pound. California-grown red cherries, $5.88 a pound. Yellow honey mangoes, just 88 cents. It's the Crazy 88 sale. You get it. It's going on right now at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouses.com, Rouses.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all. Man, what a jam-packed show. People always out here asking, man, oh, no LSU baseball. What you going to talk about? Dog days of summer. Nothing going on. Oh, really? We're pretty loaded up today. Saints OTAs. Greg Sankey out there taking the gloves off, defending the SEC. We had Cole Freeman in studio with us, former Tiger great. Lane Kiffin talking about the future of the SEC championship game. Kendall Rogers was here previewing regionals. We had Jeff Watson here as well talking about the Protect College Sports Act. You just heard Sean Fazende. My goodness, you missed anything today, get it on demand, AFR On Demand, podcast, YouTube. Just search After Further Review on podcast or YouTube, After Further Review. Get anything you missed always for free. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Ott's already 1-0 on the day. The guy, I tell you, he had the White Sox in a little matinee today over the Twins. Rocking chair, 6-2. What's he got for tonight? You'll get it next on AFR.
AFR. REV.
RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com. Hey, listen, we're talking about Rev. I've been telling you about Rev now, and I want to remind you this is not just an internet service provider for your home, but also for your business. Listen, here at Guarantee Media, we're Rev customers. Parish Construction and Roofing, we're Rev customers. So I strongly encourage you, if you're a business owner, and sometimes, look, you're looking at your budget, check out what you're paying each month for your internet, cable, security, automation, all that stuff. What if you could get a better service, a more reliable service, faster internet speeds, all fiber network, local call center, local service, and save money? Why wouldn't you switch? Rev Fiber. Check them out online. Have them come out. Give you that quote. RevFiber.com. R-E-V. RevFiber.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com.
Love telling you about our friends over at River Parish Contractors, and they're awesome people too, man. Had lunch today with my buddies over at River Parish Contractors. I got to meet some of their clients as well from CF. We had a great time, and they're genuinely awesome people that have built a great culture at their business. So if you're looking for work, or if you're not sure, quite honestly, if you're looking for work, maybe you're just at a job that you're open to exploring options. Listen, River Parish Contractors has work stacked. They're going to keep you busy, and they have so many great benefits. Look, you want to work overtime? Work as much of it as you want. You want to work night shifts? Awesome. They got day shifts and night shifts. If you want to work when it's cooler, you're going to be home with your family every night. They got great benefits, health, 401k. You got to check out River Parish Contractors. Check them out online. Call Big Jake, rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Lock.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Happened to jump in the car after lunch with my my friends at River Parish Contractors today. Heard the final segment of Live at Lunch. And as you're going off the air, Hanny, little chef's kiss, said, "You like the White Sox?"
Yes.
And so you know what I did? Before I pulled out of my parking spot, I opened up my DraftKings app, bet the White Sox. How about that? 6-2. We're already in the money today, Otter. Let's go. Let's keep it going. Let it ride.
Smooch. There you go. Love for everyone. So there you go. We go ride the hot bats of the Orioles. They're at home. They're underway, batting in the bottom of the first inning. So they are just smoking the ball. So team playing at a much higher level than what their overall record is. So we got the Orioles. Not sure what the end game is.
Oh, they got runners at second and third with one out, so it's minus 242 right now.
That ship has sailed. See, if Handy gave me a little bit more time, just a little bit, Anyway, give up. About 3:15 every day, Hunt posts the picks. So, got to go to the site. A lot of these games start during the week about 5:20, 5:40. All right, we're going with the Astros rubber game in the in Global Life Field in Arlington. It's been a dismal season for the Astros, but one bright spot has been young pitcher Arrighetti. Arrighetti has been really consistent arms, kind of breaking through this year. He is, it's kind of so-so before this season, but he's been really tough. We're going to ride him tonight plus a small amount. It was like plus 115 when we put it in on the website.
Plus $1.23 right now, so a little bit better number.
Even better. Yeah. So the public driving up the Rangers on that one. And then the basketball game tonight, is Oklahoma City, do they have Wemby figured out? Is Wemby going to play and get a little bit tougher down in the paint where he belongs instead of hovering around the perimeter? I don't know, but I do know this, that the lead official tonight is Scott Foster. What is his nickname? It's the Extender. It's his specialty. He extends series. Let's get on the extender tonight. Take the home team minus 3.5. I think the Spurs will win tonight, but I do think Oklahoma City will close them out on Saturday night.
By the way, the Orioles looking to get out of the jam right now. I'm sorry, the Blue Jays looking to get out of the jam right now. Second and third, 2 outs. The number's back down to minus $1.41. So could maybe look out and still get in on the Orioles if you want to.
Shoot, 2 on, 2 out. That's worth a swing.
So it's down to minus $1.33. So we'll keep an eye on it. If they get out of this inning, you get a better. If the Blue Jays get out of this inning, we'll have a better number there. So see if they can creep closer to it. We'll keep an eye on it. Tomorrow,
hey, Matt,
yes, sir.
Matt, tomorrow we have really been very profitable on our Bet Rivers college baseball podcast. Hanny's been smoking them pretty good. We've been on them. We got a lot of picks for tomorrow, all weekend's action, regional and individual games. So we'll have those starting at 11 tomorrow.
Awesome. We'll look forward to it. Good luck tonight. Have a great show tomorrow. Thank you, Otter.
Good luck.
All right, man. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Look, Otter was just with us. We're both patients of Dr. Blake Williamson. Dr. Blake did my LASIK. September will be 8 years. Jimmy had the custom lens replacement. So, the whole thing where, you hold the paper far away, needed the flashlight on the menu to see in a dark restaurant. Not no more. He had the custom lens replacement. I had LASIK. Wake up in the morning, boom, see 2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020. No matter your age or refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center can help. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. Blue Jays got out of that inning without allowing a run, so they go to the top of the second. The number for the Orioles, if you want to get on the money line, is minus $1.08 right now. So not too late. If you want to get in on that play, Otter Locks are posted. All right, we're just about done here. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Alas, Terrio back tomorrow. The band back together for Friday edition of AFR. Looking forward to the Riot Radio Hours returning tomorrow. So we'll see you here for that. Muse Pauly, appreciate you. We always appreciate Blasia and the awesome team over at Decision Critical. We tell you all the time, it's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. If you need their excellent in-home nurses, their expertly trained nurses for anything, they got you covered. Decision Critical. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
All right, y'all, we're getting on down the road, and a lot of you are getting on the road. It's vacation time. Kids are out of school. Weather's getting nice. We're headed toward the 4th of July. A lot of people heading east toward the beach or wherever you may be going, up to Pigeon Forge for baseball. The bottom line is if you're taking your vehicle on the road, make sure before you get on the road, you take your vehicle to Shawbills. They're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and, of course, they're going to treat you like family. So whatever you have going on, they can help. Did you know you should have your brakes checked at least once a year? I didn't know that. But I was on Shawbill's Facebook page earlier today and saw the post. You should have your brakes checked once a year to make sure they're at max efficiency. When's the last time you had your brakes checked? Probably time to bring it to Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shawbills. We keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.